What is up, guys? DT Ninja here to bring you my RuroKen Hokkaido Arc Chapter 7 discussion. Yes, guys, I want to discuss a few things as well as the preview for Chapter 8 because Chapter 8 comes out this week. So definitely, check my Facebook page for the latest updates for Kenshin. Obviously, the Jump Square magazine comes out the 4th, so that's probably Thursday, I believe. But yeah, anyway, keep a lookout for the latest chapter. Now, discussion-wise, I want to discuss a few things. I want to discuss Byakuya, okay? I also want to discuss Asahi because she's central to this arc. Now, why do I say that? Because when she's first introduced, there's this mystery about her. And not only that, Asahi also connects not only to Koshijiro, but also the Syndicate, also Shishio, also the Batosai. So it's definitely very key in this arc. So we're going to talk about Asahi. And then we're going to talk about a possible return, okay? Now this is, just me speculating. It's not, actually going to happen. Maybe it will. I don't know. But I just have a feeling that someone is going to return. I don't know if it's this week, next week, or the week after, or, but I just have a feeling that it could be. So, first things first, why don't we talk about Byakuya? Okay, Byakuya Itakura. This guy, the leader of the swordsman weapons, he had a crazy introduction, right? When he was first introduced to the arc, okay? When we were first introduced to him, this is what we saw, right? We saw all these swords. Oh, and by the way, this is RuroKen Hokkaido Arc, Hokkaido Hen Volume 1. I picked it up, so definitely pick it up. I highly recommend it. It comes with a poster, okay? And this one, if you saw my review, it comes with a poster as well. This one comes with a full poster. This one is a mini poster. But yeah, really cool stuff. And Byakuya Itakura, we first saw him, we saw the swords, surrounding, basically telling us he is a really strong swordsman. Now, the next thing we see is all these police officers shooting their rifles right at him. And he just stands there and takes the bullets. Now, and then he catches them in his hand. Now, what's interesting about this, his hand bleeds, so it's not like he's invincible. But what he does next is kind of like crazy, right? So you've seen this before in certain things, like, in Hakusho, I think Hiei fights Yusuke, and after he gets beat up, he licks his wounds, right? He likes the blood. He likes his own, the taste of his own blood. Well, here, it's very similar. Byakuya basically licks his, his hand there and his own blood. And then suddenly his abilities increase like crazy. So there is something there. Is it just a sinister, type thing, or is it actually increasing his ability? I have a feeling it actually has something to do with his ability. Just my feeling on that, especially after he got taken, when he got cut by Saito in Chapter 6, because in Chapter 6, obviously Saito is in a battle with him, and Saito cuts him, right in the chest, and he says it's nothing but a small wound, but you could definitely tell he was having trouble. But there's something there because I just feel that maybe his blood is something to do with his power. So what do you guys think about that? That's just my feeling, especially from what we've seen. Now, other than that, Byakuya has this crazy ability. Now, obviously, he was in jail and he broke out, right? But his ability is pretty crazy, right? He can see these animalistic creatures, like these spirits. He saw the wolf in, Saito. That's an obvious one, right? Wolf of Mibu. But then he saw like this cow minotaur type creature in this big guy, and then he destroyed him. And then I got to thinking, like, Kenshin. What is Kenshin going to be when Byakuya looks right through him? I'm thinking dragon. Especially Hiten Mitsurugi, the dragon, right? The dragon, the claws of the fist of the flying dragon will rip. That's his his thing. Hiten Mitsurugi Ryu. So the dragon is what I feel that he's gonna see, and it's gonna be monstrous. So like he's probably going to be really surprised. Now, if he knows he's the Batosai, then maybe not. But I feel like he is going to be surprised. He's going to get excited because he's like, whoa, this guy is the guy we want for the swordsman weapons. So recruitment is another thing. Byakuya is trying to recruit the strongest swordsman. So after, his draw with Saito, basically he's obsessed. He wants Saito to be in his group, but obviously Saito turned him down, so now he's going after Kenshin. Obviously Kenshin's going to come to him, so that's just, happens to be that way. But yeah, that's what I feel is going to happen in the next chapter. We're going to get an invitation of what actually happens. An invitation. What is he going to do? What is his plan? That we saw what Kenshin is going to ask him. So he's definitely going to pose the question, will you join us? Is it possible that you can join us, Batosai? If he learns that, he definitely will. So yeah, that's my feeling on Byakuya. Also, if you notice, the other members of the swordsman weapons, they seem really, some are like pissed off. Obviously they're like, if those police officers weren't there, they're obviously talking about Saito, they're talking about Eiji, and others that interrupted their plans, then everything would have been fine. But in a way, Saito was the one that ruined everything because he turned them down. Byakuya was excited until that point, so he went along with their plan. He went in jail, in the cell, and then he broke out and he, explained, I'm gonna play with all of you and destroy you one by one until I find that perfect warrior. He's after perfection. From swordsmen. So that's what he wants in his own swordsman weapon group. So anyway, that's Byakuya for a little bit. The other swordsman weapons, we're talking about the other in his group. So we're talking about Gongu and Doi. This is Gongu. He does, resemble, Inashi just a little bit. Anyway, Doi is the rock face. And then there's this guy. This guy in the background, the guy that says Hajime Saito. That guy is very mysterious, and we're going to talk about him in a little bit. But you can definitely see they're definitely, just going along with whatever Byakuya wants, and it doesn't seem they're going to attack, the Batosai. They're not going to attack Kenshin. They're just waiting it out until Byakuya meets him, and then they're going to act from there. So, but yeah. On to the next discussion question, and that is that mysterious guy, okay? The guy with the scar on his face. He says specifically, Hajime Saito, and he's saying it to himself. Now, everyone is, like, if it wasn't for Hajime Saito, our plans wouldn't have been ruined. Technically, yeah, but then the guy gets really serious, like personal serious, and that makes me wonder, this guy knows Hajime Saito, this guy knows him. Not only does he know him, it seems there's a personal grudge against him. Now, there has been speculation that he could be a surviving member of the Shinsengumi, but I don't feel he's Shinsengumi. I feel maybe he has met him in the past or something. Maybe he lost a fight to him. And maybe even Hajime Saito gave him that wound. So that could be another reason that he got him. He has this grudge towards Hajime Saito. But there is that speculation that some people were thinking that maybe he could be Hijikata. Hijikata is a war hero, and I don't see that even possible, especially after Kenshin showed that face. He saw, the image of Hijikata, towards the end of his life. It seemed like he found peace, and Kenshin was happy about that, because the only time he ever saw Hijikata was as the demon, the one who he feared. So, yeah, anyway, there was a slight resemblance, but at the same time, Hijikata was cut in the head, and it was just bleeding down the face. So the actual cut is not, near the eyes. So I feel that it's Hajime Saito that was in a battle with him, and you actually have some personal animosity here. That's my feeling. So I hope that's the case, and we get a battle between those two, and we learn who that is. Because we know Amado, we know Doi, we know Gongu, and we know Byakuya. So we do get, some of the characters, but that one mysterious character, they left him out for a reason. And they left him out probably because there is that personal grudge between the two with him and Saito. So I hope that's the case, and I hope we get development on that. But yeah, so far Watsuki is doing a really good job of keeping the mystery, keeping the excitement of this arc, and the characters, and the villains are really good. I'm really enjoying it. So. The next discussion question. Okay, guys, we know we're at this star fortress in Hakodate, right? And this is a famous fortress that was used by the shogunate in the Edo period, right? And slightly after for the Ezo Republic, and it still stands today, right? It is, kind of a park. Well, this prison, when it got to thinking, Byakuya's in a prison, right? What if Anji the fallen monk, is actually stationed at this prison? What if he's actually there? You guys know he was the former Jupongatana, and he was forced to, he turned himself in, and he served in Hokkaido. But where in Hokkaido, guys? Maybe it's Hakodate. It's a famous place. What if the prison actually has Anji the fallen monk? So maybe Kenshin happens to meet Byakuya, right? And maybe Sano goes somewhere else, and he happens to see Anji. How freaking awesome would that be? This much time has passed, and he gets to see Anji again, different, right? So that would be really interesting. I wonder if, Watsuki would do that. Very interesting stuff. But I am hoping that is the case. But it's a possibility, right? Because he is serving 12 years in Hokkaido prison. So where is that prison? Where is it? We saw a glimpse of it in the chapter at the end of the prologue, right? So I can show you. At the end of the prologue, you can see this prison at the very bottom where Saito is. This is a prison, and that is Anji at the very bottom. You can't really see it very well, But yeah, that is Anji with his, you can see it right there with his bandana. But yeah, what if Anji is at that fortress that they're at right now? That would be really interesting. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. To wrap up, this discussion, we're going to talk about Asahi. Asahi, right? Asahi is very central to this arc. Now, Asahi was introduced very early on, right? She came and she met Aran and also Ashitaro. What's interesting about these three is that it seems they're all orphans. Right? They're all orphans. So she knew about him because she's in his syndicate, but also she knew where to look for him, because remember when she found him, when they're walking, they went to Rakanin-Mora, the village of the fallen where kind of Ronin go to. So very interesting. Maybe she knows this place because she's also an orphan. She had to find stuff on her own as well. So maybe there's a place in Hokkaido like Rakunin-Mura. And maybe that's where Aran is going to look for her in Hakodate. Because he said in this chapter, I have a feeling where she could be hiding. I have a feeling. And he seemed to really know where she's at. So let me show that picture I'm talking about. So basically, this is where they're looking for her, right? And you can see that look in his eyes right there. He's basically saying, I think I know where she is. She could be hiding out. I'm gonna find her. So I get the feeling that maybe there is a place for orphan or fallen Ronin that they go to, kind of like Rakunin-Mura near Tokyo, and in that area, towards that area. But I just have a feeling that could be the reason why he feels that way, because he too could be an orphan. How Asahi is central to this arc. Basically, Asahi, right, when she's introduced, first she's kind of like this orphan, right? She's this orphan, she's introduced, she's kind of cunning as well. She kind of wants to know about Ashitaro, but then she tricks him. But she's actually a part of the Shishio faction, the former Shishio faction. So there is, some history there. She's probably had a hard life. She's on the run a lot. So, but anyways, the reason why she's central is because, one, the Shishio faction, okay, that seems to be a very big thing, because they're connected in some way to the swordsman weapons. Because I'll tell you what, in chapter 1, we saw this envelope, right? And the envelope had a sword on it. Well, you can see the same envelope in chapter 2 when the swordsman weapons are introduced, because it's covered in blood. So we know there's a connection there. Inside that envelope that Asahi gave to the Kamiya Dojo, or Yaiko recovered, is the picture of Koshijiro. Kaoru's father. So we know there's a connection there, and Koshijiro's connected some way to what's happening, this chaos. So there's something serious going on there, but the reason why she's on the run, there's something more to it. And I would really like Watsuki to really dive deeper into her character, because she's very interesting. Like I said, she's central. Like, look at this final panel of the prologue. You can see everyone is happy in this photo. Inashi's not shown any emotion. You can't see Anji. You can see Saito's just as, cool as ever. But the others, okay, look at Misao. She's smiling. You got Megumi. She's smiling. Tsubame. She's smiling. You got all these characters, Sanosuke with his back. Everyone except Asahi. Asahi's worried. She's, there's something going on with her character. So I have a feeling that there's something there. And like I said, I think that Aran knows where she is because she knew where to find Ashitaro and Rakunin Mura, so maybe there is a place in Hakodate similar to Rakunin Mura. But yeah, that's my discussion, guys. A preview for Chapter 8. It's coming this week. It's coming. So I will be translating it. Look for my latest updates on DT Ninja 831, my Facebook page. The color scans. Okay, the color scans are from my friend, a really good friend, Chris JP20. Definitely check his work out. DeviantArt, Fiverr. Check his work out. He's really awesome. But yeah, he does the work for me, for Kenshin. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys. Oh, there will be another Kenshin video. I will be doing Tales of the Meiji, Chapter 1. That will be Kenshin and Kaoru's wedding. So that will be coming very soon, so keep a lookout for that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.